Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. You done, honey? How about now? How about now? Hi everybody, it's your girl Abby. I'm here to talk about romanticizing sadness and the fun that comes along with that. But first, a PSA.
Hi, PSA with Abby and Honey. This is all my own experience, and in no way is it fact, other than this is what I've experienced, and I don't have a degree, and I don't know what's going on, except for things that happen to me, so I'm just here to share that with you. Take it as you will.
Hopefully this nut will stop. Oh, but she's so cute. But hopefully she'll stop being crazy so we can get on to this. I guess first, when I talk about romanticizing sadness, I'd like to talk about my experience with it and like what I'm defining romanticizing sadness as. This is like what I find weird in our culture. I feel as though there are a lot of people that make it out to be cool to be sad. And I feel like this kind of is also the same with like anxiety, or it used to be when I was younger. I feel like it would be cool to like be anxious or like cute, and I don't know why. But I feel like the internet is really a toxic place for that, and even like some music I also feel like is really toxic for that. Love Lana Del Rey, but I feel like when I was younger and way more impressionable, I would like listen to her music and just think like, oh, like that's what I want, you know, like I want my movie to be like my life to be like a tragic love story, like that type of thing, like, and I wanted that for myself, and that's not good, you know, because it's not one, like, being good to yourself, good to others around you, or like being even just like a productive member in society. So I feel like when people romanticize sadness, it's detrimental to a lot. For me, like I said, I would like just follow a bunch of pages that were like on Tumblr, like all those like warning. I'm gonna talk about self-harm now. So if that's something that like is triggering to you, just I'll put a little timestamp of when I stop talking about self-harm and things that can go along with it. Like on Tumblr, like all those pages that would share gifs of like people like cutting themselves, or like people hanging themselves, or like just to like sad, like in black and white, or like people like crying, or like just like sad, I don't know, like I don't even know what to call it, like sad porn comes into my head, like if I was upset I would go to that and I would like feed my addiction of being upset, which is so unhealthy for your mental state. And I would like listen to sad music, and I don't know, it just wasn't, it's not a good place. And I would like read like texts that were sad and like, oh, I want to kill myself, and like that other people had posted, and like other self-harm posts are just like really sad things for no reason. Honey, how you doing? Okay, so past the self-harm stuff now. I would go on Tumblr and stuff for, like I said, like sad porn and just So, like I was saying, I would go on Tumblr or listen to sad music to like feed my addiction of being sad. All that music and all of those Tumblr sad posts and that kind of stuff were all telling me it's okay to be sad, like, which it is okay to be sad, but it was more of like, it's cool to be sad. It's cool to hate yourself, and it's cool to want to harm yourself, and it makes you creative if you're sad all the time. Like, you'll be able to write better poetry, or you can take more better, or you could take better photographs, or like whatever like your art hobby was. It's like being sad, like that makes the hobby real. And I think like, yeah, sometimes art comes from sadness, but art can also come from happy places, and art can come from joy places. And hello, Bob Ross. I mean, but the point being, I'm not gonna get into this tangent about how I think that art and doesn't always have to be sad. I struggled with that, and it would bleed. Like, I have a feeling that some of the people I followed, that's like their online persona, which is like cool, whatever, you know, if that's what makes you happy. But that bled into like my real life, and it was more like I would want a partner that was not good for me so I could have that tragic love story type thing. I would want somebody who I knew deep down wasn't good for me, and I would like isolate myself from friends and from family and just feel alone. And again, not good for your mental health. And I'm not saying like this is all like everybody on the internet's fault. I'm saying that like this is like a society issue. There are movies and TV shows that really romanticize sadness, like 13 Reasons Why, for example. I mean, we all know the issues with 13 Reasons Why, hopefully. The book was good. I read it in like 7th grade maybe, so like I could also be forgetting what happened, but, or maybe it was like 6th grade. I don't know. But I read it when I was young, and I remember like kind of liking the book, but the point is I watched the whole series, unfortunately. And yeah, that I could see myself if I was like back in that state when I was really into like romanticizing sadness. I would have just been like, oh, that's so great, you know, like, and it would have been a bummer, you know, like it would have been bad for me. But something that I think does sort of on contrast with that, like, something, I was saying that like pain doesn't always have to come, or art can come from pain, and it's okay, is Bojack. It's another Netflix series, Bojack Horseman. Again, it's probably something that you know, but because now it's on like Adult Swim, I think. besides the point. I think Bojack does a really good job of showing how negative it is to indulge in sadness and not actually take care of the issues when they arise, because everybody in the world has issues, and everybody in the world's always going to have issues. That's what the world is, you know, like, that's just life. So, like, of course, I think it would be almost just as detrimental to not have any type of emotions being spoken about sadness, but it gets to the point where it starts to romanticize it, and that's not good. But yeah, I think Bojack, if you haven't seen it, I totally recommend it, because I think it does do a really good job, especially versus like 13 Reasons Why. And I saw a couple of YouTube videos talking about it. Now I'm going to stop rambling and talking about my experience with Romanticizing Sadness. That part I did not write down, so that's kind of why it was all over the place, but I didn't want to write it down because I want it to just like come from the heart and like come from my experience, instead of like me trying to like place it, if that makes sense, because this is something that really was hard for me, and I didn't even realize it until I started to get better from it, and like started to realize like, wow, I keep getting hurt in my life, and I keep feeling alone in my life. I wonder why that is. And then I started realizing, like, you know, I'm surrounding myself with bad people and bad thoughts, and I'm pushing away people that love me and like accept me for who I am, and I'm not being true to myself, and all of those things, so I could have that tragic romantic life. And then once I realized that, like, ooh, wait, that's not actually like that's not what I want my story to be, I just like started to flip around my life, and I was like, oh shit, I'm feeling better. So I'm gonna give you my tips now. And I've got like 3 tips, but they have like sub-tips, sort of. So my first tip is to as with like anything that you're trying to do, is recognize and change your actions. So for example, if like me, I would go after partners and friends that I felt like didn't necessarily want my best, and I had to start to recognize, like, is this person like actually gonna care about me? Should I even invest time in this person, or should I, you know, diverge from that because this person is not gonna invest time and is not gonna actually care about me and my well-being? Like, am I safe around this person? Number 1. Like, number 2, are they like nice to me all of the time? And, you know, like, do they talk about their feelings? Are they a person I want to be like? Birds of a feather flock together, honey. So yeah, like that's just like, I recognize it and then I have to like change it. So like, sit down if it helps you, like think about your behavior and think about things that you do. Like, when you're upset, do you immediately go and run to sadness porn? I'm gonna love that I coined this sadness porn term. Do you immediately go and run and, you know, read a detrimentally sad book or poems or something like that? Do you immediately turn on some really sad music and sit there and think like, I'm so sad, and romanticize this moment? Do you like get off to this moment? And if you do, that's not good, you know? Like, totally feel your feelings. Like, our feelings are here for a reason. Like, feel your feelings, sis, but, you know, recognize and change.
Look at her stinking nose. Look at her stinking face. You're a stinking lady. I love you. She's like, I'm trying to protect Ma. Stop. One more, sissy.
You're just gonna have to ignore the stinking cute little nose over there. It's so cute. Boop. I'm sorry, I love my dog too much to ask her to move. Like, if she wants to look out the fucking window, she's gonna look out the window. Oh, look, she moved. Kind of like I was saying, with my first piece of advice, you have to make sure that the people around you are good for you and not detrimental, and are people that you want to be like, because birds of a feather flock together. This second piece of advice is kind of like that, but a little bit different. Make sure the people in your friend groups and the people who you follow online and that type of stuff, like the things that influence you, make sure that they're good and positive. Somebody who I really like is Monson. He's such a positive person, and I have his and Bella's post notifications on because they're both always just so like positive and like really love and enjoy life. And whenever like I'm upset, then I listen to Maud. Yeah, I know it might be hard if your friend group is kind of like romanticizing sadness, and you want to stop. But something you can do is just like, if they're your real friends, just bring it up to them and like talk about it and like how you're feeling. Like, it's okay, and just like, you know. My third and final piece of advice is to stop and think long term about what you're doing. If you create the habits to feed off sadness, like, you're gonna be sad for the rest of your life. And in 30 years, do you really want to be with a family if that's one of your goals, or like wherever you see yourself in 30 years, do you really want to be sad doing that? Like, do you really want to be finding things that make you sad? I didn't. In 30 years, I want to grow in my faith, and I want to be a leader, and I want to be able to be helping people, and, you know, to be a mom and a wife. And I think it's really important to think about your future, and not like always to the point where you're anxious about it, because same, but think about your future. He's so cute. Think about your future too. What am I doing now to help build that person that I'm gonna be? Because every time I look back, I'm always like, oh, this could be a cause and effect type thing. Could be. Again, hello, it's me. I don't have a degree yet. None of this is easy. Just with like changing anything about yourself. I know I kind of was just like, just do this and I did this, you know, like, but also it takes a long time, and I still struggle with it sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I wish that blah blah blah, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to struggle. Just, you know, stay strong, and you can do it if I can do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped you in some sort of way, because these videos always help me just like spew out some things. Honey.